Hello everyone, welcome back to Naysmith Gaming. I'm the Naysmith, here to give you a game to enjoy and some questions to think about. And if you like the video, please leave a like and a subscribe. And ring the bell. Today I'm playing Sid Meier's Civilization, but this time I'm playing Beyond Earth. Basically, Civilization in space. There's 12 different factions I get to choose from. Each one has a way they break the game in half. Yield from city developments, that is a in Civilization 6, there's the projects based on your, whatchamacallit, your districts, like industrial zone logistics, or camp or research grants if you have a campus. This is basically that, and it's incredibly powerful. Very fast spy operations would let me basically cheat the energy and research curves. This is basically wonder spam, letting me get a whole bunch of diplomatic capital, which is a resource unique to this game. This one actually doesn't break the game in half. Well, it makes it much harder to conquer them, but frankly, by the time this matters, there's ways around that. One free virtue for every 10 virtues earned with culture. Except that upgrades to be a lot better, which basically means you get a whole bunch of special powers. This is basically free resources. Actually, this one doesn't break the game either. Nor does this one, nor does this one. This one is decent, but doesn't quite break the game. It's basically bonuses for espionage in a different way from the American Reclamation Corporation. This one is basically deal spam. This one is expansion spam. This one, trade route spam. And trade routes give food and production, which basically means it'll grow very, very well. Okay, this one doesn't break it either. Just better wars. African Union. Plus growth when healthy, and specialists produce extra yield. Which means, say, a grower, instead of producing 2 food and consuming 2, will produce 3, and that upgrades. As you can see, I'm playing on the second hardest difficulty. And, yeah. I've disabled the contact victory, but the idea is, because I'm playing on the second hardest difficulty, I'll get the other 3, all of them. Because this game has a weird curve where it's easy for me on anything other than Apollo, and impossibly hard on Apollo. No variant rules. Because it is easy for me on this mode, on this difficulty, or used to be anyway, I'm going to play a less powerful nation. That still has a decent bonus, Franco-Iberia. The real prizes are either refugees for faster growth or engineers for faster production. However, I'm playing Franco-Iberia, which means bonus culture is actually quite useful for me. No. I'm playing as Alfala, who will have refugees. Because it takes a while for this bonus to take off. I think I'll take the tectonic scanner to let me know where to settle early. An extra population pales to the benefits of not having to spend on a worker and getting to start early. Starting with a clinic or laboratory, those are both also good. I'm going to choose the worker. Lush, primordial, arid, Terran, Protean, Atlantean. Okay, good. And they're all different options. So anyway, let's start. So one of the themes of this game, and harmony. Harmony basically being the bioengineers, supremacy being cybernetic engineers, and harmony being no, sorry, I just said harmony. Purity being the pinnacle of humanity, as opposed to don't adapt with anything else because humanity's adapted enough. This game, unlike Civ 6, does not have the harbor district, so I'm going to take a coastal spot right there. They want me to build... Oh, yes. In Civ 6, hills are powerful. In this game, they're really weak. I'm going to start with there. And this game has resource pods instead of tribal villages. I'm going to research pioneering because I want to be able to build colonists, and trade depots, which are incredibly powerful. An old earth relic to shore up my poor culture. And this game also features quests, sort of like the city-state quests, except these are actually narrative. This gave me a solar collector, and the battered impossible drive. Ooh, a derelict settlement. I'll have to look at that one. However, oh, yes. Habitation. Along with food and water, most basic human necessity is shelter. Prefabricated structures that build themselves. Basically, this game has weird twists on almost everything. Warehouse, cultural centers, administrative structures. In warehouses, that'll be the trade depots that I'm researching through pioneering. Cultural centers, that'll be the old earth relic. Administrative, the headquarters. Actually, no, the headquarters also has some culture. So yeah. Meanwhile, pioneering. Romanticized tales of North American colonizing. Automated construction, prefab buildings. Strategic locations. Outposts will grow into towns in their own right. Industrial plants, administrative buildings, transport hubs. Initially served as warehouses for the cargo necessary for survival. So this is basically, so when I build these, they'll be repurposing some building. I won't actually be building it, I'll be repurposing. They said making a hub. Also, an impossible drive. Interesting. Experimental thrust from electricity alone. Yep, that sounds impossible, alright. Unless the electricity... it could be some sort of magnetic drive. Magnetic scoop, I don't remember the proper name for it. And, looks like I'm facing, either Han Jae-moon or of Chung-Soo or Duncan Hughes of, North Sea Alliance. Ooh, Progenitor Ruins. I'm gonna want that later. And Titanium. Hit the jackpot there. Okay, now that I have two citizens here. This game also has the orbital layer. An interesting level of complexity. Designs of previous satellites such as the orbital laser and miasmic condenser? Interesting. I thought it was completely independent. Basically, +1 energy on my tiles, and cities in range receive plus 20% overall. I jumped from +5 to +11 or so. 3 from tiles worked, center, and these 2 or so, plus the 20%. Looks like this one is going to grow fast. Ah yes, and alien nests instead of barbarian encampments. However, this game's aliens actually have, well, research pioneering, okay, because I grew a second population. Or because it reached turn 5. The aliens are not actually hostile to me, yet. They will wait until I attack them first. But after that, they won't forgive me. Or at least not nearly as readily. Well, if I send a civilian unit, that's say a worker or a colonist, then they will, then the aliens won't hesitate to go after them. Abandoned city. Okay, this is arid. Yeah, this game has staggered starts, meaning we're arriving at separate times. It also has archaeology projects, which I'm going to get to later. Indigenous species may pose a threat to our growth. We cannot determine their intelligence. So they are. So apparently they are. Oh yes, because they are hostile to civilian units, so my citizens will have noticed that they are in fact hostile. Let's try to domesticate them. Oh, another coastal landing. There's only two factions in the game that can do that, which means I'm facing both of the sea dwellers. Just a matter of which one is where. Ooh, culture boost. Don't mind if I do. Plus building production. Crashed satellites will usually give production, while sunken vehicles are more finicky. So I want that production for all this. I'm taking adaptive... Oh yes, labor logistics. Force and efficiency. Basically, this is a better planning. This trains low-level officers to be flexible to changing battlefield. It's basically just recovering knowledge that was lost in the Great Mistake, which caused Earth to be reduced in habitability. Oh yes, this hill on a river gets one... The river just gives +1 energy next to it. Let's refuse the offer. Newly constructed memorial, expensive to maintain, that's 1 energy per turn. Privately held corporation. Wants to keep it accessible to the public. Mostly. Our past is vital to the collective psyche of our people, so we are going to allow it to remain completely public and free. a public work, as it were. Is that a clinic? Oh yes. Old Earth relic. Center of many villages and settlements, was frequently a structure housing a relic. Religious or historical significance. Carried this tradition over. First buildings after basic housing was devoted to memorializing the homeworld or interstellar voyage to this new world. They take many forms. Materials salvaged from the starfaring spacecraft, and part of the heritage as well. Meeting hall, library. Oh, before more specialized structures were built. Meeting hall, library, school, administrative center, and so on. As the colony grows and diversifies, the importance diminishes, but the buildings nevertheless remain valuable. Basically, everything in this game is different from Y than in the other games. Okay, this one seems normal, actually. Small-scale facility, primary healthcare for small communities, largely automated, for with someone on call. Surgical microbots. Ooh, nice. Hardware is not always part of the colony payload. Remember, I had the option to make it to start with one. Software were included as a matter of policy, which basically means it's just a matter of building it in the first place. Procedures and treatments for miasma poisoning quickly added to the database. Staffed hospitals eventually supplant smaller ones, but the automated clinics remain a staple. Oh yes, one more thing. The excavation unit, basically the colony's scouts. Basically, these are archaeologists with some guns to fight aliens if attacked. Now once we build
the
colonists,
universe is either in progress or in entropy. We choose progress.
a trade depot followed by colonists. Completion of the clinic, approval of my leadership. That'd be the health stat over here. Small group wishes to establish a volunteer program, benefit the city and future outposts. Some want a civil defense force with branches in each clinic. While others suggest allowing the volunteers to staff the clinic themselves. Defense force is just plus city hit points. I'd rather not rely on my city defense like that. Raw health will give me bonuses that you'll see later, which will allow me to avoid that problem in the first place. The chemistry research, which yields petroleum, except I already see it, but also gives a recycler for production and a laboratory for science. From an ancient age, chemistry has been one of the most vital fields. When mankind pushed into space, new branches opened, such as astrochemistry chemistry, supermolecular chemistry, and organometallic. New planets bring new discoveries, such as frac-sided floatstone, which in turn drive chemical research into unexpected directions. These applied sciences, chemistry is most vital for successful human colonization. So here's the thing. I have seen people mocking, did they forget chemistry? Did they forget genetics? Did they forget physics? Did they forget engineering? Except that's not what the techs are. They're basically adapting these. They're basically adapting the old techniques to the new world. And getting ready to set up the infrastructure. So here's a question. What do you think of vague names in important lists? Like, say, this tech tree, and how chemistry is actually something far more than chemistry. Physics is something far more than physics, etc. Oh, there's another resource pod. That's good. Basically, I'm growing fast and have a bit of production. I want to build a paddock there, but it's under miasma. I'm going to show you what the miasma does. 6 turns. And Ard can now support a trade route, so I'm going to... I've just completed the quest to find a total of 3 of these things. So it gave me another science boost.
We've all come a long way. I welcome you on behalf of the North Sea Alliance.
Ooh, more titanium over here. And some geothermal. And another civilization comes down. These relics each have 3 states: battered, worn, and pristine. Battered gives small bonuses, but I think it's better to save them for the 3 at once. Get a special bonus. Pristine might be worth spending immediately because of how valuable they are. Plus production towards military units. Oh, military-industrial complex. Most powers on old Earth devote varying proportions of their industrial output to their military security forces, even in peacetime. Some colonial administrators institutionalized this relationship. The derelict settlement gave me 30 culture and a battered, thoughtful chess set. This impossible drive gives science because it's how it's seemingly impossible. The chess set is, of course, culture. And these sites will come up later, but no one's discovered the thing yet that makes them matter. Oh, this guy's taking 10 damage from miasma every turn. But he'll finish before he takes 100 damage. Because every unit has 100 hit points. This gives me another virtue. This will give me plus health for every military unit to public security. As colonial settlements grew, paramilitary forces, helped by some governors and charged with safety of citizens, local defense units that operate as police and emergency services. So basically, this is just, the more military I get, the strong. Basically, I'm basically getting military boosts early, so I'm not easy to roll over. let's take engineering next. Reveals titanium, gives me the thorium reactor. Energy to go with the science and production. Then ecology will give me food. These techs are the core of what's important. And repair facility for some military. Application of practical principles to create and build structures. Cornerstone of civilization. Engineers for discovering and developing new materials and methods for use on the world. That's right. This one is also a adapting engineer, adapting the name of the tech to the new world, not rediscovering it. Oh yes, in case you saw the dash marker here, training the colonists does in fact block me from growing. Ooh, an energy boost, okay. I'm gonna snag a recycler to get everything done faster. Oh, that's a marsh, that's why. Okay. One of the rules of this game, if you can, always settle next to titanium. Because it gives truly ludicrous bonuses. Ah, yes. Stations take the place of city-states. Let's see, I can do step mining for plus production, or I can do Hakima Station for food and culture. I will approve step mining for the production spam. And yet another artifact. Butiller Co. Family Drone. Replace the void one filled by domesticated animal companions. Household duties such as fetching items, cleaning floors, guarding the home, using its optical processing brain. Okay. Let's see what happens if I can combine all of these. Oh, huge culture boost, and some production. So 76 culture, 112 culture between them, a small chunk of science, a small chunk of production. Even smaller chunk of production, tiny culture. Frontier Stadium, military units begin with a free promotion. I'm going to not take that. I'm going to hold off. And my very first settlement gives me a military unit matching patrol boat or soldier, based on whichever one I, whether it's sea or land. Let's set this one to explore. Because I don't want to end the miasma. Ah! And someone has now discovered the ancient abandoned city. Hearts and sand. Neighboring colonists have discovered a magnificent alien city. Takes 3 tiles, at least, I think. Abandoned for millennia. Large districts completely inaccessible. Massive skyscrapers floating off the ground. Wants to explore alien cities. The first one will trigger the next phase, which will tell me how many more there are. Oh, yes. Due to a quirk of this game, the unit will end its turn when it reaches that thing, that resource pods, and it'll still have movement to spare. So, I'm manually disabling the, that movement, the automate exploration rule for now. Hold repair suit battered. Frontier Stadium. I turned that down. Oh my! And Pan-Spectral is just orbital strike range, and plus some production there. But 2 extra citizens just for building that. Yes! Now I'll take Adaptive Sciences. While most scientific research was intended to benefit the colony in general, some idealistic researchers, with or without sanction, focus on specific practical applications for their own philosophy. Practically speaking, that means I get plus affinity research from researching texts, meaning that engineering, which gives me 7 affinity, will instead give me 8. Whereas the whereas leaf texts like power systems or ballistics now give 24 instead of the 20 they used to. I need 10 plus 1 per level to get to the next level each time. Oh, one more thing. The aliens won't attack me in my own territory. Not usually, anyway. As long as I haven't angered them. Let's see. It stopped. Oh, wait, no. It only had 1 move left, anyway. Free affinity. Bright matter. Sensitive to space-time. Substance can only be observed while present in a certain location and time. Progenitor, artifact, warn, energy, and science. Okay. Free affinity level. I will go for supremacy. And because this game, units don't upgrade by a tech tree. They upgrade by affinity, which is upped by the tech tree, but also by other things. So let's see, I get a choice between healing when not embarked, which makes it a better defensive unit, or plus strength attacking. With purity, I can get bonus if it doesn't move, which goes well with this, or bonus when defending, or which is good for both attacking and defending. Meanwhile, supremacy gives me adjacency bonuses, and harmony will give me non-adjacency bonuses, like blowing up, or just huger bonuses, which will partially counteract being flanked. I want these guys to have a decent counterattack, so I'm going to pick 15% when attacking. This game is all about stacking percentages, except for purity, which, and for special powers, except for purity, which relies on raw base strength to make those percentages go farther. Even though they have less of them. Against melee or ranged. I'm going to choose melee because aliens are all melee. Alien, except for that one alien, but that's a land unit, and I can't attack it anyway. I will grant that enemy colonies will be a problem there with their ranged units, but there's always something. Otherwise, it would be the melee units. Melee is what takes cities, and is thus slightly less dangerous. No, slightly more dangerous. Let's get plus science. So, Thara for outpost growth or step mining for production. I'll choose Thara for now, because I want to grow out my colony. And just plus energy. Nothing major, but Let's take a look at ecology. Unchecked growth, limited resources, climate change, disappearing wildlife habitat. Aftermath of the Great Mistake brought ecology to the forefront of applied science. Colonial sponsors made sure ecological scientists were an important part of the effort. Hoped they might guarantee the problems that shattered Earth would be avoided here. Well, let's check out the thorium reactor. This is basically a raw energy. Ooh, a resource pod that I can't do anything about because, actually I can if I send this guy over. Ooh, an alien skeleton. And by returning to the city, I get my expedition module back. Ooh, more titanium. This is a glorious spot to put a city. Just plus energy. Oh, another progenitor ruin. Yes, I like those. And now you'll see why you always settle next to titanium. +5. This is big. You need the titanium for good production. There's 9 more. Okay. Buried in the sand, a smaller settlement. Structure and shares a structure in common with the larger cousin. Massive geodesic sphere. Purposes unknown. Individual dwellings. They hear voices in the sphere. In the sphere. Voices that were definitely human, sounded close. Interesting.
Iskawaral, the African people greet you.
So these two guys are both relatively peaceful. Relatively. So I have hopes of a relatively peaceful game. Trade depot. Do I send them to production or for trade? Abundance of goods. Factories or allow merchants freedom to trade with it. The trade depot gives +1 production at the cost of maintenance 1. I think more production is good here. Ah, the wonder spammers, okay. Oh! I have the option to... I missed this. Diplomatic capital. Used for making deals of the agreements variety. Like plus production, etc. Or plus growth speed. However, it also allows personality traits. I'm going to choose subtle. Because, why wouldn't I? Because covert agents are overpowered.
When
Let's see. -1 food from floodplains, +1 food from desert. But floodplains are always on desert, so it's just saying desert other than floodplains. And base food. Colonial administrators prioritized health and happiness, had vivariums constructed shortly after landing. Cold frames, large greenhouses. Earth fruits, vegetables, spices, herbs, grains. Basically, it grew everything. Molecular and genetic tinkering with these old Earth strains. Adapted some for free growth. Many were not commercially cultivated, but spread in the wild. Depending on the philosophical approach, that's say purity, supremacy, or harmony, it changed.
El pueblo unido de Sudamérica le da la bienvenida.
I know who one of these is. Chung-Soo. Ah, there he is.
이렇게 방문해 주시니 영광입니다. 세심한 배려로 모두 번영할 것입니다.
Okay. Cities on this sea cannot grow by culture. Only by purchasing tiles or by using Move City, which I do not yet have access to. Wait, no. Of course I have access to it, just can't purchase the movement. Oh, here it is. I want the science boost. Faro will gain 3 food and 4 production. But I'm not going to renew it because I want to go to help step mining. Once I get Farah set up. And here is that really powerful mine. So the thing is, the progenitor ruins are more valuable than the alien skeleton. And this will allow me to move on to ocean tiles, so I can move away and to where I can get the geothermal. And Han Jae-moon does not like how I'm not attacking anything, even though I have no reason to. Oh yes, computing. When colonists landed, vital to advance and adapt computing, unique materials and advances in networking allowed more tasks to be transferred to the oversight of advanced computers. Advances in cybernetics, as quantum computers are made ever more compact. Sophisticated programs that approach self-awareness and creative intelligence. Within a few decades of arrival, distinction between human and artificial intelligence blurred to the infinitesimal. Which means that each turn is less than a year. Because because computing can't be gotten until well after a few decades. It'd be the first century or so, almost. Ooh, lots of oil and geothermal over there. That's on my to-do list. Research boost. Oh, the AI also has a glitch, in which it will not realize it can conduct excavations or expeditions at sea. It's a little fun fact. Trade route slot available. 19 more turns of doing this one. So I need to find a way to occupy myself. That'll do. Another research boost. I'm going to choose not to attack them because that will provoke them, and I'd rather not have to deal with provoked aliens at this time. Right now, just simply live, let live will work. They won't attack my convoy until I attack them at all. Though there is a ultrasonic fence to be able to deal with, to keep them away and to protect my convoys. Excess construction material from the recycler. They are now, thanks to recycler, prime candidates for recycling. So we use stuff to build the recycler, and now we can recycle the things we used to build it. Various requests for the materials and the need to establish precedents. Workers want the materials to improve their operations. The agriculture sector would like fertilizer. +1 food, I already have a colonist type for +2 food, and plus 10% worker speed. Later game, there are some things that take something like upwards of 20 turns to build. Supply the workers. Number of plants to old Earth. One of these plants took root outside of Ard and turned invasive. I'm currently doing a Harmony Supremacy combination with the with another quest. So I'm going to go for Ignore to get a Purity or Supremacy. So I already got a Supremacy boost, so this way I can do a Harmony and a Purity to keep my bonuses even, because I want to win with all 3 victories, not just the the one that the game requires. Ard got a boost in production, which means thorium reactor will come online shortly. I can choose an affinity level, or I can choose production energy from resources. Let's see, that's 1 strategic. I'm gonna settle 1, 2, 3, 4. Which isn't much. Martial meditations. Before the seeding, martial arts began to include specialized meditation techniques. approach is expanded and perfected to improve the effectiveness of common soldiers, bringing the new troop types into colonial. I choose Supremacy.
The first 5 machines of Earth. The wheel, the lever, the inclined plane, the dynamo, and the screw.
They like that, where a list of 5 things where the 4th one is wrong. Explorers can now build an additional expedition. That means I can grab both of these. And after doing this one, I still have one left. A food crop or an energy crop? Low-level genetic modification plants can be made to serve as food or energy. Hey, they want a vivarium. Now I can upgrade the gunboat for bonuses against land or sea. This one I'll take sea bonuses, which means I have ranged sea combat and ranged. Yeah. Which basically means I'll have supremacy on the seas when I care to. Normally, I said to settle always near titanium if you can, but I think another sea colony would be good. No, 2 sea colonies actually. The thorium reactor. Already the people are accustomed to it, barely at full capacity. If we push it further, we can divert the energy towards increased production speed, or we can use it to create new units and structures. It's the 3 energy or 1 production. The cutter, 145 times 4, 530. Wait, no. 530 divided by 145. 3.65, huh? Okay. Regardless, that means 3 energy. Well, 3.6. Times 3 is 360. Plus another 100 is 3.8 or so. Okay, so 4 energy is better than 1 production. 3 is worse, except 3 is more mobile. Meaning I can generate it in one city and then spend it in another. Which comes to some sort of resource allocation issues. Ooh, another resource pod. You know, let me. Yeah, colony there, colony there. I'll want another colony over here as well for the oil and titanium and geothermal. This will be a huge energy city with a little bit of production. And maybe something over there. Ooh, a resource pod again? He thinks my military units are weak. Because, yeah, this has a respect and fear system. Oh, a free solar collector again? This one is up for just a little bit longer. I'm going to make this one sleep for a little bit, so I can launch it after this one has need. And now that I have ecology, I can clear out the miasma there, which I'm going to do. Basically, interactive devices. Got planetary engineering, or part of it anyway. Which basically means this one is now a bit cheaper than the others. I could also build a colony there, but... Collection of goods and luxuries for just a small culture boost. Well, a couple turns anyway. More resource pods! Huzzah! Because of this ice here... Oh, wait, no. Because of this ice here, it's going to be hard for anyone to get any sort of military force, and any sort of seaborne force to attack me. And there's only one spot to attack me here. Which means my weak spot is just over here. Which means it's a long trek. Oh, he's settling there too. .95 research, which gave me a spy agency.
I love computers because they automate the tedious stuff and give us more time for important things like market manipulation.
The network. Plus science from Copper, as well as space science and diplomatic capital. Since ARPANET, modern life is driven by data interface exchange. Architecture of various networks varied considerably, basic utility did not. Adapting supremacy ideology to interface with their citizenry. The spy agency. Basically, once I build this, I get spies. Axiomatic that every government has a spy agency. Many had multiple operating to cover various subjects, like surveillance of their own citizenry. Agents of national and corporation spy agencies, though few acknowledge the term spy, were regularly engaged in nefarious activities. Sabotage, coups, takeovers, assassination, info gathering and analysis.
Progress begins with someone saying, there has to be a better way to do this.
I can upgrade submarine now. Bonuses onto ocean or coast. This looks to be a world where ocean battles are not likely to be much. The combat rover. Bonuses when flanking or attacking fortified units. I get more attack bonuses with purity. I get adjacency bonuses or attacking wounded, which will go well flanking. Or I get the duelist bonus or pillaging. I'm going to take plus flanking. Actually, wait. I'm going to try and experiment a little. Attacking fortified so I can then go into attacking wounded, which basically make these line breakers. Also build a spy agency. And the vivarium is about to be finished. I actually sort of don't want to build a mine there. I'd rather build a... The vivarium complete. I got purity bonus, energy, and science. Unlocking the farmer lab, which is basically a more advanced medical facility, based in pharmaceuticals. And the Cyto nursery, which is for plant growth. Okay. Basically medicine and plants. More energy. Another solar collector. Oh, that reminds me. This solar collector here. Either one of these locations is fine. I'll choose this one though. So those two solar collectors are boosting my energy income through the roof. Which is going to be useful. This one can go to debt mining now. And she's impressed by how much territory I control.
Consider a simple problem, such as navigation in a spaceship approaching light speed.
Okay, dry dock. Basically, it's just a mobile factory platform of aerial and subaquatic drones. Subaquatic construction while minimizing production time. Some colonial engineers integrated use of floatstone. That is a quest that I'm going to get, much like I got for the clinic and the old Earth relic. Launch complex. This one's mostly self-explanatory. Just basically a maglev launcher. Gives me the Ranger. Basically, they're an artillery unit. The basic artillery unit. The weak artilleries, as opposed to one that I'll unlock later. Basically just,
Every day I think of Earth, because a word or phrase evokes a lesson I learned long ago, and gets me what I need.
This is per the weaker of the two, so I'm basically getting 4 energy. Laboratory. Research is broad. You can increase scientific progress by focusing on xenecology, which will give me expedition modules. Local biology. Let's maintain a broad approach and get more science. The Ranger can get heal when not embarked, like the Soldier, or it can get defense when against ranged. I figure these guys will be backliners, so I'd really rather they not get into melee range in the first place. Meaning, this. So that they can defend against cities that counterattack them. Let's do a Pharma Lab. And let's go to Ard for a small amount of production and a huge amount of food. Expedition discovered a Ripper, which for some reason wishes to join to serve me. There's actually a little bit of lore behind that, in that the planet is a gestalt consciousness and a genius loci, or genius locus, which basically means it reacted. The aliens, which is how aliens on one side of the planet know if I attack the aliens on the other side. It's in a callback to Alpha Centauri. Planetary survey. Basically, this gives me constellations to better knowledge of constellations, to have a better knowledge of where I can safely navigate. Let's find an ultrasonic fence to keep them away. Capital or basic resource? Basic resource, basic resource, basic resource. 4, 5, 6, 7. There's plenty over here. That was plus 10 right off the bat. What will I research after planetary survey? Biochem looks good because of the water refinery and the petrochemical plant. Unique biochemistry of the alien flora and fauna forced us to unravel its mysteries, petrochemicals, and a host of other items. Useful in many realms, petroleum oils were found to be unsuitable in the areas of food processing chemical feedstock. Initial surge of research aimed at harnessing. Okay. Steel Science and Citadella from Encrypted Transmission.
All planets possess inherent value, and establishing the exact dollar value of the property should be a priority.
Operative Extraction. I'm just going to assign them all elsewhere, so he's near enough to me, I need to do that. I basically regard the aliens, such as the Krakens, as swimming disaster areas. Easy to repair, though. Relatively. Radical but peaceful colonists trying to live in the vivarium. They want to stay as nature if they choose. Disrupting the efficiency, but they're willing to be subjects of study. Thing is, I could get plus food, but I already turned down a plus food in favor of a plus something else. Plus worker speed. But the thing is, my colonist type is refugees, so this is redundant. I'm just gonna let them stay and get the extra science.
The temple doors of the Protectorate are open.
Okay, let's get a trade depot because of course we need one. An older Earth relic for culture growth. Establishing networks, basically get to get information. Farmer labs. Do I study the byproduct for research, or do I destroy it for the health of my colony? Health of my colony. Because I'm getting minus 10 growth and outpost growth from my low health right now. Ooh, definitely want that one. He doesn't like that I'm settling near him. Well, once they move off, I'll be able to start excavating anyway. Wasn't going to start this turn because of movement speed.
How may the corporation serve you?
Okay. So I've got some fights coming up if they get near me. Let's get a clinic for them. Have a bunch of networks. All I can do is siphon energy. Those numbers, as best I can tell, are wrong. It's a 55% chance they won't get detected. 55% chance that if they're detected, they will survive. Rather, there's 3 levels in it. I think it rolls for each level. Detected, identified, killed. Reverse the polarity. Okay, my fences can either reverse the polarity to protect my convoys, or I can keep the design to make them slightly more powerful. Trade units are so valuable that I am definitely picking them.
智慧和财富
So she
是
wants to
最好的分享物。
She wants reduced energy maintenance for her military units. In exchange, she'll give me diplomatic capital. Yes, that looks good. Because more diplomatic capital is always good. It's spendable, almost like energy. The progenitor device gave me an affinity, and single-pass geometry. Two-dimensional matter. Free affinity. I've spent a whole bunch on supremacy. Let's get some harmony.
I wonder what life was like on Earth when the whole atmosphere was breathable.
And I now have these three. 50% worker build speed. I already have plus 10%, so that'll still be 60%. Yes! Safely forego sleep for several days. Basically means I'm working them extra hard. But then again, it said they can safely forego sleep. So is this just a, is this me driving them harshly, or is this, an advancement that lets people, work a whole lot better? Okay, I can get plus culture. At this point, I think what I need most is the rocket battery from ballistics, defense grid. I want some defenses. Ballistics. Predations of native beasts was diminished. Combustion light gas artillery. Defense grid. Semi-automated ground environments. Creating defense perimeters to protect my colonies. Most elaborate and efficient incorporate terrain barriers, particle and beam weapons directed by orbital platforms, and robotic AFVs, although all stop short of WMDs or planet killers. Plus production, plus food, plus health. Health becomes redundant later. Or, ooh, plus science. Production will let me build plus science stuff. They have a manticore. Okay. How did I miss that city? Oh, let's move the city there. Then right after, I can build a water refinery and a rudder. Purchase a recycler. which does not give me any slots for our citizens to work. Ha! They lied to me. And I've been at this for a while. So, I'm going to call this session for the day. Thank you for watching, and have a good day. This is the Naysmith, signing out. Just as soon as it gets me my turn again. Actually, no, I'm going to at least finish this bit. So I can show you. Let's see, for might, I have 5, so I get plus 5% strength. When I have 10, I'll have another plus 5%. And then I get affinity level. Well, this one, I'll get a free virtue once I get a 6th from here. So let's choose this one to boost production when I've already built something. And plus health for trade units. That sounds good. Went from -5 to -4. And next virtue, I'll get plus 10% energy everywhere. In addition to huge energy boosts here. So basically, early industry is energy, followed by production. Early knowledge is culture, followed by science. This is just growth, followed by health. This one is more pure in what it does. Trade route available, so I will pick that. And now that is it for the day. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day. This is Naysmith, signing out.